If police had treated a 17-year-old girl's car as a crime scene instead of just towing it away, would her parents still have their daughter today? That question has haunted the family of Brianna Maitland for more than 20 years. On March 19, 2004, Brianna finished her shift at the Black Lantern Inn in Montgomery, Vermont, and drove into the night. The next day, her car was discovered in one of the eeriest crime scenes ever, backed into the side of an abandoned farmhouse known as the Dutchburn House. Her glasses, paychecks, and belongings were left behind, but Brianna was gone. This case is filled with controversy, missed chances, and painful questions. Was the crash staged as a warning? Was Brianna targeted by people she knew? Did the drug trade in Vermont swallow a teenage girl whole? Or did silence in a small town bury the truth? For decades, her parents have carried the weight of those questions. Every birthday, every holiday is another reminder that their daughter never came home. My name is Detective Daniel. Welcome to my channel, True Crime Story Videos. Here we uncover the truth behind America's most haunting missing persons cases. Kindly subscribe and tell me your name and where you're watching from. Brianna Maitland was only 17. She was working 2 jobs and studying to finish her high school test, the GED. People said she was strong and independent, but also down to earth. She lived in Montgomery, Vermont, a small town that looked quiet and safe, but had its secrets. This is the story of how Brianna disappeared into those shadows. Friday, March 19, 2004, started like any other day for Brianna. She had lunch with her mom. She also took a test for her GED, hoping to finish school early. That night, she went to work her shift at the Black Lantern Inn. Around 11:20 p.m., she clocked out and drove off alone into the dark. She planned to spend the night at her friend Jillian Stout's house, but she never made it there. The next day, March 20th, a state trooper found Brianna's car. It was backed into the side of the old Dutchburn farmhouse. Inside the car were 2 of her paychecks. On the ground nearby, a water bottle, a cigarette, and her belongings scattered. Instead of treating it as a crime scene, police thought it was just an abandoned car. They towed it away, calling it a possible runaway. That choice may have cost them the best chance to find the truth. It took days before Brianna's family even knew her car had been found. By the time they learned, the farmhouse scene was already disturbed, and any evidence that might have helped was gone. Every hour that passed made the silence louder, and the search for Brianna that much harder. Just weeks before she vanished, Brianna was attacked by a former friend, Keali Lacrosse. The fight was brutal. Brianna was left with a broken nose and a concussion. She filed charges, and for a while it looked like the case would move forward. But after Brianna disappeared, those charges were quietly dropped. Many asked, was this fight a clue, a motive, or just a sad chapter in teenage drama? Police later cleared Keali of any role in Brianna's disappearance, but questions still linger. Did the fight really end that night, or did it follow her into the darkness? As days turned into weeks, theories began to rise. Some believed Brianna's disappearance was tied to the local drug trade. Police raided a house on Reservoir Road, run by 2 men, Ramon Ryans and Nathaniel Jackson. They were known in the drug world, and some thought Brianna crossed paths with them, but no sign of her was ever found inside. Others believed the Dutchburn crash itself was staged, that her car was backed into the house on purpose to make police think it was nothing more than an accident, a cruel trick to buy time and hide the truth. And then there were whispers of personal conflict, from the fight weeks earlier to quiet grudges and secrets in a small town. Could revenge, jealousy, or betrayal have pulled Brianna into danger? Each theory raised hope, but none brought her home. The Dutchburn house wasn't just any place. It was old, abandoned, and falling apart. And on that March night, Brianna's car sat pressed against its wall, as if swallowed by the shadows. Her belongings were scattered outside. To some it looked like the place where something terrible happened, but others ask, was she even there? Forensic whispers suggest the crash may have been staged. The way the car was positioned, the strange items left behind, the feeling that the scene was set up to confuse police. Was Brianna taken from here, or did someone place her car to make us believe she was? The Dutchburn house holds no answers, only questions, and for 2 decades those questions have haunted everyone who's seen it. At first, police thought Brianna had run away, but as days turned into weeks, that theory began to collapse. Too many clues were left behind, too many questions with no answers. Vermont State Police finally announced what the family already feared. This was not a runaway. This was foul play. The FBI joined the case, bringing new resources, new eyes and new pressure. But still, no Brianna. And as the search grew, so did the fear. In this small Vermont town, parents began to wonder if a predator was moving among them. For the first time, the community realized what happened to Brianna could happen to anyone. In a small town, secrets have long shadows. After Brianna vanished, rumors spread quickly. Some whispered about drugs, dangerous ties that pulled young people into dark circles. Others spoke of jealousy and betrayal among friends, fights that never healed, and grudges that ran deep. Everyone seemed to know something, but no one had the full truth. And in the silence, the shadows only grew darker. Brianna's mother still remembers the lunch they shared the day she disappeared. She never imagined it would be their last. Her father has never stopped searching, never stopped asking questions, never stopped knocking on doors. He even created a non-profit called Private Investigations for the Missing, so that other families wouldn't feel as helpless as his did. For Brianna's family, every birthday without her is another unanswered question, another empty chair at the table, and the pain of not knowing never goes away. When you hear Brianna's story, it reminds us that danger can hide anywhere, even on a short drive home, even in a small town that feels safe. One simple night turned into a nightmare that has lasted more than 20 years for her family. And sadly, they are not alone. Too many parents never imagine it could happen to their child until it does. That's why I created my ebook, The Missing Teen Safety Guide. This guide is built for families, parents, and teens. Inside, you'll learn how to spot warning signs before it's too late, how to set up safe routines when your kids are going out, what to do in those first critical hours if a loved one goes missing, and the red flags most people overlook until it's too late. It's not just information, it's action, simple steps any family can use today to stay safer tomorrow. Because once someone is gone, every minute matters, and the hardest pain is knowing what you could have done differently. Don't wait until tragedy strikes. Click the link in the description, get your copy, and protect the ones you love before the silence begins. Not long after Brianna disappeared, tips started pouring in. Some came from friends, others from strangers who claimed to know something. One of the most chilling was an anonymous call. The caller said Brianna was being held in the basement of a farmhouse on Reservoir Road, a place already known for drugs and danger. Police raided the house. They searched every room, every corner, every basement wall. But Brianna was not there. Still, the rumor spread like fire. People whispered that she had been there, but was moved before the raid. Others said the whole thing was a lie meant to distract police. For Brianna's family, hope rose and fell in a single day. Every new tip seemed to bring them closer, but then left them right back at the start. Frustration grew, and whispers of a cover-up began to take root. Did someone in the community know more than they were willing to admit? Or were the police chasing shadows while the truth slipped further away? For years, Brianna's case seemed frozen in time. But in 2022, investigators revealed something new. A piece of DNA had been recovered near her car all those years ago. Evidence they believe could belong to the person responsible. That sample was finally entered into CODIS, the National DNA Database. It was tested against known criminals, compared to persons of interest, and checked again and again. But the results came back the same, no match. Whoever left that DNA has never been identified. For the family, it was a painful reminder. The science was moving forward, but the answers were still out of reach. Every time they heard the word DNA, they hoped it meant a name, a face, and finally justice. Instead, it only meant another weight. The evidence proves that the truth is still out there, hidden in someone's bloodline. But until that match is made, Brianna's family is left with more questions than answers. Nearly 2 decades after her disappearance, the case is still alive in the lab. But for her parents, the empty chair at the dinner table is proof that time does not heal, not when your child is missing. In 2024, on the 20th anniversary of Brianna's disappearance, the FBI made a new announcement. A $40,000 reward was being offered for any information that could finally bring answers. It was their way of saying, this case is not forgotten, this case is not closed. Vermont State Police stood with them, reminding the public that Brianna's file is still active, still open, and still waiting for the one piece of truth that could break it wide open. The message was clear. This is not a cold case. Someone out there knows what happened.
Someone has the missing piece that could bring Brianna home. For her parents, every new announcement is a mixture of hope and heartbreak. Hope that the reward will make someone finally step forward. Heartbreak that after 20 long years they still need to beg the world for answers. Even after 20 years, the questions don't go away. Why was Brianna's car left like a scene from a crime story, backed into the wall of an abandoned farmhouse, her belongings scattered like a trail? Was it a desperate accident, or was it staged as a warning? Was Brianna targeted that night, chosen by someone who wanted her gone, or was she simply unlucky, caught in the wrong place at the wrong time? And perhaps the hardest question of all, did someone close to her know more than they ever admitted?